the Roman Colosseum, one of the greatest wonders of antiquity and an undeniable symbol of the power of the Roman Empire. Located in the heart of Rome, it attracts millions of visitors each year who walk through its ruins, imagining the epic spectacles that once took place there. However, what many do not know is that behind its majestic facade lies dark secrets, stories of suffering, and mysteries that echo to this day. Built between 70 and 80 AD during the reign of Vespasian and completed by his son Titus, the Colosseum was a masterpiece of engineering and architecture. Its construction was a monumental effort, financed with the spoils of the sack of Jerusalem after the destruction of the Second Temple during the First Jewish-Roman War. Beyond symbolizing Rome's triumph, the Colosseum also represented the submission of conquered peoples, especially the Jewish slaves, who were forced to work under inhumane conditions to raise this colossal structure. Many of these slaves perished before seeing the project completed, their lives sacrificed in the name of Rome's glory. The Colosseum was designed to be the largest amphitheater in the world, capable of holding between 50,000 and 80,000 spectators. Every detail of its construction was meticulously planned to impress the public and glorify the emperor. Yet, what took place within its walls was far more than entertainment. It was a spectacle of social control. The games held there were not merely events for amusement, but also a way to keep the population content and distracted while reinforcing the state's power. The gladiator battles, so glorified in popular culture, were only a small part of the events hosted at the Colosseum. Most gladiators were slaves, prisoners of war, or convicted criminals, forced to fight for survival. While some managed to achieve fame and even freedom, the reality was unforgiving. Most faced death in brutal combats, often unevenly matched. Gladiators were trained in specialized schools where they learned to handle various weapons and entertain the audience. These schools, known as ludi, were essentially prisons where men lived under constant surveillance and endured a grueling routine. Not all battles were fair, though. The audience craved bloody spectacles, and gladiators were frequently pitted against far stronger opponents or thrown into situations where victory was impossible, such as fighting wild beasts. Lions, tigers, and bears were brought from different parts of the empire to participate in these displays. These animals, often starving and enraged, were unleashed in the arena to confront gladiators or defenseless prisoners. It was a macabre spectacle that thrilled the crowd, but spelled a horrific end for those forced into the arena. In addition to gladiator fights, the Colosseum was a stage for public executions. These executions were theatrically performed, often reenacting Roman myths and legends. For example, a condemned prisoner might be forced to play the role of Icarus, flying with wax wings before falling to his death, or be devoured by wild animals as Orpheus, failing to tame the beasts with his music. These events served as a stark reminder to the population. Defying the power of Rome meant facing a public and humiliating death. One of the most fascinating and chilling secrets of the Colosseum involved the naumachii, or naval battles. In its early years, the Colosseum was flooded with water to stage maritime combat. Replica ships were constructed and placed in the arena, where prisoners and slaves were forced to fight to the death in reenactments of famous naval battles. The logistics of these events were astounding. An elaborate system of pipes allowed the arena to be flooded quickly, while workers behind the scenes coordinated every detail. However, the cost and complexity of these battles eventually led to their abandonment. Another lesser-known aspect of the Colosseum is the hypogeum, the underground section of the amphitheater. This labyrinth of tunnels and chambers was where animals were kept in cages, and gladiators waited for their turn to enter the arena. It was a dark and suffocating space, filled with tension and fear. Often gladiators did not know whom or what they would face until they were thrust into the arena. The hypogeum also featured a system of platforms and manually operated elevators that allowed animals and combatants to be mysteriously released into the arena, adding an element of surprise to the spectacle. Superstitions and rituals played a significant role in the events at the Colosseum. Before major games, priests would perform ceremonies to bless the arena and ensure the protection of favored combatants. Some accounts suggest that sacrifices were made to appease the gods and guarantee the success of the event. Additionally, it is believed that certain emperors used the games as a form of political propaganda, demonstrating their generosity by providing free entertainment to the population while reinforcing their authority by showcasing the brutal fate of those who defied Rome. Over the centuries, the Colosseum began to lose its original function. After the fall of the Roman Empire, it was abandoned and looted. Its stones were reused to construct other buildings in Rome, including churches and palaces. During the Middle Ages, the Colosseum was repurposed as a fortress and later as a quarry. Yet its ruins continued to inspire fascination and fear. Many believed the site was haunted by the spirits of the gladiators and prisoners who had died there. To this day, some visitors report feeling an eerie sensation while walking through the ruins, as if the weight of its history still lingers. The Colosseum is an impressive testament to the grandeur of the Roman Empire, but also to its brutality. It represents the height of Roman engineering and architecture, but also serves as a grim reminder of the cost of glory and power. Its stones do not merely tell stories of victories and conquests, but also of suffering, pain, and death. It is a place where history comes alive, but also one where the echoes of the past remind us of humanity's complexities. Today, the Colosseum is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most visited tourist attractions in the world. Millions of people walk through its ruins each year, taking photos and imagining the spectacles that once occurred there. However, few of them know the dark secrets that still inhabit its stones. Behind its beauty and grandeur, the Colosseum challenges us to reflect on the dualities of humanity. The ability to create architectural wonders while simultaneously committing unimaginable atrocities. What would these walls say if they could speak? How many stories remain buried beneath its ruins? The Colosseum remains a fascinating mystery, a place where the past and present meet, reminding us that even amidst glory, there are always shadows that cannot be ignored.